I disagree with counsel's assertions that somehow a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old should be given some sort of extra opportunities to stand up for themselves. They are still children. It's a big burden to place on their tiny shoulders. And this is what they've been going through, and it's become normalized. I'm concerned that at one point, one of the children themselves felt the need to call law enforcement and seem to be protecting the parents. Children are children regardless of the age.
Yeah, I was very concerned when I read about that. The October 9th, 2018 call. Female heard screaming, "He just hit me," both female and female standing outside. The reporting party, Damien Tella, is at the location, advised parents are 415 verbal. Parents smoked meth, negative for weapons. RP is 16 years verbal. It is, it is very concerning that this sounds to me like there is a nexus with meth use.
This is why DCFS and the court should not use the local police call for service log as evidence to detain children. The night before the October 9th incident, Richard told Damien that he'll take work off tomorrow to pick him up in the morning. The morning of October 9th, 2018, Richard texted Damien that he's on his way to the family's home to pick him up. Shortly after Richard arrived, he started arguing with the father. When the mother came out, Richard turned to her and started mocking her. She looked at the father and told him, "Do it, you promised that you wouldn't let him disrespect me again." That's when Richard goes running into the street screaming that the father has a gun. This scares Damien into calling 911 as Richard is heard yelling, "What are you going to do, shoot me?" After Richard jumped in his van and sped off, a dozen police officers responded to the house with their guns drawn. The mother is heard inside yelling, "He hit me," referring to Richard when he hit her with a closed fist. The police log listed this incident as verbal only and no arrests were made. The dependency judge needs to learn how to read these police logs before jumping to the conclusion that it's only about the parents. The reason why the father wasn't shot by police is because of Officer Foreman. He knew the father from responding to a previous call regarding a work discrimination incident. He came to the family's rescue and calmed things down. Foreman told the family that they received 2 calls that morning. Damien's call and the other caller was a woman who claimed that the parents smoke meth. The father knew that was Tamara. While explaining to the officer what Richard did that morning, Richard was seen standing in front of the house. It seems that Richard brought other family members back with him. Foreman took a good look at the situation and he gave the father advice. Those are toxic people, and if you want to control your house, you have to cut them off. These text messages between Richard and Damien prove that Richard lied to everyone. He said that Damien frantically contacted him that morning after calling the police on his parents for fighting, which is not true. Damien is apologizing to Richard here because Richard ended up getting into a huge fight with the parents. So this places Richard at the family's home that morning. Richard is responsible for causing this incident.
But you told me.
I did call the cops, and they told me to get out of, just to leave it alone and go away from you guys. And I was like, I'm just asking for well-being. And like he said, well, we know. Jake said, well, we are not going over there.